Well, hello everybody. I made a 26-minute video last night that, basically, it was about minimalism. And, man, I just woke up. I'm tired. It was about minimalism and food and housing, like what I want in the future, traveling the world, um, things like that. So let's begin with food. So, um, as a minimalist, um, a soon-to-be minimalist, I plan on eating frozen meals. Now, why is that? Because I don't want to spend a lot of money, a lot of time cooking, and a lot of interventions in meal preparation, which would be cutting things and putting things in just cutting things like vegetables, fruits, putting wine in, like cooking wine, and getting all sorts of. That's what meal preparation intervention is, or meal intervention is. It's basically, in my opinion, how many times you get up to do something with the meal that's cooking or being prepared, right? So there's that. It's expensive usually to create these dishes. It creates a lot of these meals. It creates a lot of dishes that you have to wash, and it's overall just very time consuming. So what I plan on doing, at least this is what I plan on doing, is I plan on eating frozen meals, and I plan on eating frozen meals that aren't too bad for me, and I plan on eating fruits and vegetables with that. Um, Maybe like on top of that or off to the side. That way I get my full nutritional value, or have some like protein shakes or whatever, um, things like that. So, and I'm not saying that I won't ever eat like a nice meal ever, or that I'm never gonna go out to eat. Usually, if you go out to eat, I would get a healthy meal, but I would avoid skipping things like sodas, for example, and the cookie that you want to buy, because those two things can be like $6. Um, so there's that, and just like okay, we went to speaking of eating out, we went to Subway the other day. Went to Subway, and for guess how much it costed for one bag of chips and two 6-inch subs. It costed $20 without drinks. Without drinks, and they put two little pieces of roast beef on mine, and this was without the additional charges of like mozzarella and avocado and things like that. And and that's why eating out in a lot of places is not worth it anymore. Now, if you made that at home, what do you think it would cost? Like, because Subway sandwiches, while they're not good for you, they take very uh, low meal preparation. So, what do you think it would cost at home to make that per portion? So if you had if you were willing to eat a Subway sandwich for a couple of days and you got a bag of chips, well, that bag of chips, you could buy two of them at a grocery store, and it would probably be $4. And then you would get a whole lot of meat for probably a couple dollars, some cheese for a couple dollars, and some bread for a couple dollars. So maybe like $10, $15 in total, right? Which sounds almost about the same, but until you realize that there's so many portions that per portion, the grocery store costs way less than Subway, and that's the thing too. So let's say, because like heating a pizza is one of the those things that isn't too like expensive and it doesn't take a lot of time. So let's say a pizza costs, I don't know, between $7 and $10 at the grocery store, right? And you spend 50, and I did the math on this, but instead you spent $50 eating out. That is a $40 difference. If you multiply that times four, let's say once a week, if you multiply that times four for 4 times a week, a month, that's $160. And then if you multiply $160 times 12, it's almost $2,000 spent on pizza. $2,000 saved if you bought the pizza at the store once a week. And this is a thing I'll get into. Um, so yeah, um, $2,000 saved. Now, when you really think about that, the average median like salary or the average income is like 40, 50,000, probably 50,000. I think I read 54,000 a year, the median salary um, in the United States. Um, Between 50 and 60,000, let's just say that. So you pay for your house, you pay for your car because most Americans have a car, and then you pay your taxes, right? So, what do you think $2,000 is once taxes are deducted? You have to pay your bills, your house bills, the cars, the insurance. How much of that is actually free money that you get to use? And how significant is it? Well, if you deduct, you know, that from 60,000, let's say, the car bill, the house bill, the insurance, the all of that, and then you're spending $2,000 of free money on pizza, that is actually a significant portion of your free money that you could have used to buy something else. Or, no, save up for retirement, because, guys, retirement is coming. Retirement is coming soon, and most people don't even have a couple $1,000 saved. And Social Security is not going to save your ass. So we have a real crisis coming up, guys. Tell I just woke up. Um. So yeah, there's that. And this is the thing with food, right? If you think about it, right? And I understand special occasions. Let's say you are eating out, right? But you can't eat out at a cheap place. You just can't. You're too high caliber for it. And you buy a beef Wellington for 75 or $100. Literally, that's how much it costs per beef Wellington. Usually between 60 and $100. Do you really think that's worth it? Okay, outside of special occasions, if it's a special occasion like your high school graduation or your college graduation, I understand. But do you really think that even if it's the best meal you've ever had, is it worth 60 to $100? When you could have had something that tastes 80 to 90% as good, because let's be honest, food is diminishing returns. Like, I could have something that's $10 to $20 that tastes almost just as good, sometimes even better than something that's worth $200 a course or $100 per course. So, is it really worth it if I can buy something that's 80% tastes as good um, for $10, $15 instead of spending four, five, or even six times that? I don't think it's worth it. I really don't think it's worth it. So you could save a massive amount of money for retirement right there, or you could travel the world. If you fly economy class, you only bring one bag, like your backpack, if you're traveling alone, um, and you use a tent and camp in some forests or something, then you can definitely go around. You can explore the world. Oh, jeez. I'm tired. Um, I think I'm probably gonna eat lunch and then go swimming after this. That's another thing too. Is like you don't need a gym membership for a pool if your neighborhood offers a pool. Or how about this, right? Let's talk about housing, right? So if you're living alone or with a partner, you don't need a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom house. You can get away with having probably 2 bedrooms, maybe one for an office. But if you're living alone, you can have a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom house, and a living room, and that's all you need. You don't need 3 bedrooms. I mean, what are you gonna fill it with, and how often are you gonna use it? And you need to heat it and air condition it. So that's the thing is, when you're living in a house, right? You don't need that much. You don't need that much um, space if you're living alone. Um, so yeah. Um, you can, and if you pay a 15-year mortgage, because let's say right, um, let's say that because you can probably if you get a cheap house. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Is that most people can't pay a 15-year mortgage off. But if you buy a cheap house, then you can get a 15-year mortgage and you don't have as much interest, and it could save you thousands of dollars. Literally thousands of dollars. If you could get a cheap house that you can live in and you have a 15-year mortgage, it saves you thousands of dollars of interest. So that's personally why I think that it's worth it. Now let's move on to cities versus towns versus whatever. So you might be thinking. So let's talk about cars in association. The average new car is $700 per month, and old cars are not falling far behind that. Um, so the average car payment is going up drastically. If you look at Credit Karma, for example, they had a graph where it showed new cars were approaching, I think, $650, and the old cars were catching up to the new cars. Actually, they were like $500. Oh, great! I just initiated a fight. Um, Yeah, let me just kill these people. Actually, let me just restart because I don't feel like freaking fucking I'm doing that. Um, so if you live in a city, right, and you have a car, you have to deal with traffic and all that. And just take a taxi at that point, right? That's the thing too. Is if you want like a small apartment, don't live in a big city because it costs $2,500 a month for a small apartment. If you want to live in an apartment, go to Des Moines, go to Omaha, go to Phoenix, go to Reno, Nevada, maybe even Las Vegas, Nevada. I didn't see houses too expensive there. I think they were in the upper twos or lower threes for like a good house. Um, go to Florida, Tampa, Florida. Go to maybe Richmond. Um, What else? Madison, Wisconsin, although I advise against that because of the cold. New Orleans, Louisiana. Probably not New Orleans. Probably like Lafayette. Uh, you could live in Tulsa. Tulsa's good. Oklahoma City isn't bad. I looked at prices there. You can look at Tucson. Um, you could look at Flagstaff, Arizona. You could look at a bunch of places around the country, cities. If you want an apartment, you want to live in a city that doesn't cost $2,500 a month, and you can get around by a bike. You don't need a car. And honestly, that's what I plan on doing. Is I plan on living. Oh, and Lubbock and Amarillo are another two. I plan on living in a large town or a small city, getting a small house, and getting an e-bike or getting a bike or even just walking around, because um, that's advantageous for me. I don't have to pay the new or old car. I forgot to mention something about food. Is not only do I not really want to buy frozen meals and just have fruits and vegetables with them, but also I think about buying plastic plates, and plastic cups. Not necessarily silverware being plastic because they're easy to wash, but that way, because plastic cups and plastic plates are cheap, and honestly, it will eventually catch up in cost. I understand that, to a normal plate. But as far as I can tell, you don't have to wash the dishes, so it's pretty good. Um, so I get that could be kind of controversial, but back to what I was saying is, so I don't want a car, I don't want um, to eat out a lot, I don't want an expensive house, and I want to eat food that's cheap, and it's going to and I have paper plates and plastic plates and plastic cups, so I don't have to wash the dishes. Um, Now let's talk about furniture, right? So you don't need a lot of furniture. For example, why do you need an armchair if you live alone? Now I understand if you want a table or something in the living room, but you don't need an armchair. If you're living alone, why do you need a big TV? Why not get a smaller TV? Now, it doesn't have to be a little monitor, but do you really, really need like a 72-inch TV or whatever the fuck, like a 100-inch TV? Like, it's very expensive. Like, a QLED 8K, 4K, whatever. You don't need that. You could be fine with getting away with a 30-inch TV, for example, 32-inch TV. So how much does a 70-inch TV cost? Doesn't actually cost that much, but yeah. For example, you don't need a big TV. It'll take up a lot of your living space, and it honestly will make you kind of depressed because it's like, why do I need this big thing? You don't need unnecessary furniture that you're not going to use. Um, um, you don't need. I mean, that's just it. If you want an office with a computer, then that's good. And you don't even really need a TV. You can use your computer, watch TV on your computer. But honestly, I would recommend watching TV. Bookshelves are another thing. It's like people get a bunch of books, for example, and there's no way they're gonna read them all, and it costs money to get those bookshelves. So what I don't understand is just why not have a bookshelf if you really, really want one and just have a couple of books on there. So, anyways, that's gonna be it. See you guys.